Hey everybody, this is Javier Balderramos. This is Planet Texas Podcast. I have the current and reigning power slap light heavyweight champion, Ron the Wolverine Beta. Thank you for coming on the show, Beta.
Hey, thank you, bud.
Welcome. Well, a lot of people don't know about you, but you went from hauling lumber to now you're slapping people out.
Yes, sir.
So how did that happen? How did that go?
Um, I've done MMA for a long time, and um, JT Tilley, the CEO of Slap Fight Championship, he kept trying to talk me into doing this, slap fighting league he was starting, and his first two events, I just passed up on. I was like, nah, that ain't for me. That don't look like it's for me. Finally, his third one came around. He called me up and he's like, man, this is just like MMA. It's all stand up. You ain't got to wrestle. You can just throw back and forth with hands. And I was like, well, that's what I enjoyed doing in MMA. I hated the wrestling, hated the cardio. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I was the lightest one that night, but I ended up making it to the finals and losing to Darius the Destroyer. And after that, I got hooked on it. I mean, it was still combat sports, and I didn't have to worry about cardio or wrestling, so it was perfect for me.
So I wanted to ask you and take you back to 2019 when they first started the Slap Five Championships. And the CEO happened to be what, Dana White, and still is Dana White currently.
No, Slap Fight Championship is JT Tilley.
JT Taylor.
Yep.
So I wanted to ask you about what was your mindset when they first gave you the call?
Uh, for Slap Fight Championship, my mindset was, I when they first called me, nah, this ain't for me. This doesn't look good. I don't like it. And then I watched a couple of the events that I passed up on. And finally they talked to me, and I figured I'd give it a go, and I enjoyed it very much. My mindset with Dana White and them calling me for power slap was um, it was pretty amazing. I mean, for everybody in MMA always looks to get to the UFC, meet Dana White, and I was no different. I mean, I knew I wasn't getting their cage fight, and I was not very good. But for me to get the call for power slap was pretty amazing. That I got to go finally meet one of the guys that I've always wanted to meet, and then I actually get to I guess in a sense work for him. So both the calls were pretty amazing for me in their own way.
So that brings me to my next questions I wanted to ask you about. Was there any mental shift or physical shift or any kind of like big change that you had to make from going from MMA to power slam?
Uh, yeah, I mean the whole because you're taught to pivot your foot when you throw a right hand and everything else. I mean, and I had done MMA for 8 or 9 years before that, so I mean I've been so used to throwing it that way that I did have I had a penalty called on me my first night for pivoting. Um, so it took me a couple months to sit there and just practice and repetition to lose that pivot. Um, and then I guess this mindset of that there's breaks and stuff in between. Like if you grab somebody when you're grappling them or wrestling them on the ground, you can get a quick second. I mean, for me, for slap fighting, it's back and forth and it's straight blows. Um, Somebody that likes the stand up and I guess the willingness of somebody, it's it's something to watch for them. I mean, that's what drew me to it. That's what gave me a try for it, and I love it.
So I didn't ask you a question about Vernon since you were actually fighting him at one point in Saudi Arabia and you had the one round, one knockout. What was going through your mind then?
I couldn't believe it at first. I mean, Vern was on a hell of a win streak, and Vern was knocking everybody out. So I was expecting, I mean, obviously I wanted to win, but I wasn't giving myself a one rounder. I figured it'd take two or three to get to him. For him to go down in one was amazing for me because, I mean, this was the guy that, people were telling me was going to dethrone me. He's going to beat me. He's going to get the belt. And for me to get it done in one was pretty awesome.
So I wanted to ask you about like how did that happen with the journey to Saudi Arabia? Like exactly what do people have to go through to get through into Saudi Arabia?
I mean, you got to get a passport and I mean stuff like that. It was actually a nice place. I mean, they were real respectful with us. I mean, if it wasn't for me being a homebody, I actually liked it over there. The food tastes cleaner. I mean, it was pretty nice place. They greeted us at the doors with, coffees and snacks, and they were ready to take pictures. And I mean, it was pretty nice. It was pretty cool to actually go see another side of the world from just slap fighting. And yeah, I mean, just a passport. They told me I needed to get it so we can go overseas. So that's all it took for me.
Okay. And then I wanted to ask you about you retired undefeated within your division. You were actually 13-0. Was that correct?
No, I was 15-0. Yeah,
15-0.
Yeah.
So what was your mindset when you decided I'm just going to retire from that division?
My mindset was I wanted to be done. I did it. I love this sport, and then I kept going because they paid me great. I mean, there's no arguments or complaints from me on that. With Dana and all of them. But I just got to the point where I didn't want to take no more blows to the head. I just wanted to just relax and enjoy it with my family. Yeah, so I figured I went out there, got a one knockout win over somebody that was supposed to beat me, and I figured it was time. It was a good time to do it, and didn't pan out that way.
So I wanted to ask you about the Destroyer. So one of those fights is actually one of the more iconic fights in all of Power Slap. Was it really so personal, and what made it so important for the sport?
Well, it was personal for me because we'd had previous matches with Slap Fight Championship before Power Slap came along. So the match with Darius at Power Slap 1 was personal for me because, I mean, it's somebody that I had not beaten yet. I hadn't got that win over. He had beat me, 2 or 3 times beforehand with Slap Fight Championship. And, I mean, I wanted to get this win. I wasn't really a heavyweight. I think I came into the match at like 220, and Darius was weighing about 265. But I don't know. I don't talk bad about Darius. I like Darius a lot. I think he was already expecting the win, whereas I was sitting there trying. I knew I wanted to. I think I just wanted it more, I guess. Before Power Slap with Slap Fight Championship, we had that 27 round match that's on YouTube. The doctor ended up stopping it with my eye closing after a club earlier in the match. So I hated losing that match. And then he beat me my first night of ever doing slap fighting, that tournament. And he ended up winning that tournament. So going into Power Slap 1, that was an emotional one for me just because he was somebody that I couldn't get past. I was able to beat other heavyweights. I was able to beat other light heavyweights and middleweights and Slap Fight Championship. Darius was the only one I couldn't pass up. So, getting the power slap 1 and me actually beating him was, great achievement for myself.
I want to ask you, like, what is the training measurement that people have for power slap?
Man, honestly, everybody's got their own kind. I mean, like, I was talking with like Brandon Bordeaux, the middleweight champion, and Anthony Blackburn, the welterweight champion. They put a hell of a lot more training in than I do. I mean, they're constantly working on stuff, trying to perfect stuff. For me, I work out, all my upper body and my hip movement and my waist movement. I do some of my legs, but they were actually teaching me about like neck workouts and stuff like that to strengthen their neck up, and then you had Isaiah Kionis. He was teaching me about doing stuff for traps and everything. So, I mean, I never realized how much more could actually go into training for this till I talked to other people. But for me, it's all shoulders and just, my arms. That's mainly what I work on. I didn't realize up until, power slap came along that there was possibly more into it. But for me, I mean, I guess to answer your question, I work on shoulders, I work on movement, how far back flexibility I can do, work on strengthening it, and same thing with my hip movement.
Okay, like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I was reading more about it. But it says you have a 7.26 meter per second when it comes to the slap matrix, is what.
Honestly, so my numbers are not real. I had Darius, the Bell, and JT Tilley. We were all there, and myself were all there doing the combine when Power Slap first started. And JT and I had talked beforehand. I didn't want to put up, my best numbers I could because I was hoping that maybe that would just throw off my opponents whenever they see the numbers, that they can think automatically that they have it. So, and they videoed it. So somewhere they have the video where you can see I'm just, just coming around and I'm not trying my hardest. I didn't want to put up what I could do. And potentially, I mean, in my mind, it was embarrassing myself, compared to, people like Darius and people like the Bell, who I hold, to a higher regard than myself. So, I didn't want to embarrass myself, and I didn't want to put up numbers so that way when my opponents see it, that way they automatically think they have it in the bag and don't think they have to try against me.
I want to ask you a little bit about your daytime job, if you even still have a daytime job.
No.
No. Well, then
No.
can I at least talk about the your lumbering truck? How that,
Yeah,
if there was anything that did to help you be better at powers.
I think it did. I think since I no longer work there, my defenses kind of went down. I mean, I'd have to carry, shoulder or doors and windows on my shoulder and my neck. So, I mean, I think it was strengthening my neck and my shoulders more than just working out with weights. So I think it did help me out quite a bit. I just got to the point where nobody, it was hard for me to get a job like that while doing power slap, with having to go out to Vegas for promos or for interviews and then for events. And then it was hard to find a job that was willing to put up with all the time off I needed for power slap. So, but yeah, I absolutely think it did help me out quite a bit, and I enjoyed the job. And I mean, when I'm done with power slap, I plan on probably trying to go back, and find a job similar to that one.
So did you still have your daytime job when you started power slap?
I still had my daytime job when I started power slap. Um, I ended up not having it no more after power slap 3 against AJ. After that, they just got to the point where they were tired of all the time off I needed. And I know there was other people complaining to the higher ups that, that I got so much time off and stuff. So they ended up, letting me go because I needed so much time off for powerslap.
Tell them, hey, I'm working on something. I'm gonna be something special.
Huh?
Should tell them I'm gonna be something special. So I'm working on something.
Well, they knew about it because powerslap actually sent a like an interview crew to follow me around while I was working. They were in a car next to my work truck as I was driving around delivering stuff. So they all
So
knew
can
about it.
you
But
explain to everybody what was the first time that you approached your SO, your boss? Like, hey, I gotta go and be part of this business where we be slapping each other.
first time I approached them about it, I told them I needed I needed a week off. They wanted me to fly out there and do interviews and stuff. With Slap Fight Championship, it was always on the weekend, and usually it was within driving distance, so I didn't have to take no time off. But with Power Slap, I approached them, told them I needed time off to go do, interviews and stuff like that, and promo. And they were asking what for, and I was telling them about it, and then I ended up, going to the first event against Darius. I ended up winning and bringing the belt back, and they actually did a piece on me for their magazines, for their, for the lumber industry, for dikes and stuff. They did a piece on me and took a picture of my belt and everything, and it was pretty cool. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed the job and enjoyed the people. I understand about the time off. I mean, it's hard to get the job done if all your people have to take time off so much. So, but yeah, I think they enjoyed the fact that I was doing that. And, I mean, I would go to job sites and there'd be people that knew me at the job sites and talking to me about it. But I think ultimately it was just the time as to why they couldn't keep on letting me do it.
So I wanted to ask you about one of the things that you said in one of your promos. It's about heart. What does that actually mean to you?
For heart, for me, I mean, I mean, I've heard and seen a lot of people can get up there. Anybody can slap somebody, and I mean, most people that can take a hit probably can do it. But it's you have the strength to, do you have the heart to keep going after you get hit, after you get rocked? Do you want to get back up there and keep taking that punishment over and over? To me, it's just I enjoy it. I mean, I want to be up there. I want to be victorious. I mean, I don't want to be that person that quit. So I mean, heart to me is, like I said, just you have the willingness to keep going after you've been rattled or you've been put down. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about another one of your quotes is you actually avoid no phones, no TVs. You don't really have a lot of drama in your life. It's just the power slap house. The mentality is what you really.
I mean, whenever I'm out there, I'll do interviews. I do quite a few. Anybody that wants to come up talk to me. I mean, I'm a real easygoing guy. But yeah, once I leave Vegas or Saudi Arabia or wherever we're doing the event at, once I get home, yeah, I kind of shut all that away. They've gotten on to me before about not posting on Instagram, stuff like that, and not promoting it, but I'm not that person. I mean, I'm somebody that I look at it, and I mean, right now, that is my job. I show up, I do the work for you, you pay me, I go home, and I don't think about it or worry about it, or I've cut myself off from that. I'm not Wolverine or a power slap champion at home to my kids and my wife. I'm just me, and that's what I like coming home to.
So I wanted to ask you about your sportsmanship because you're actually one of the athletes that after the fight, you go and you check on your opponents. What does that actually mean to you?
Uh, Actually, you're like one of the first person. And that's what I told my wife. You know, when you're one of the first person that's ever asked me that before. So I mean, I appreciate that.
You're
To
welcome.
me,
Because I actually do watch Power Slap. I'm not one of these smucks that just get you on. I actually watch it, and I've been watching it from somewhat the beginning.
yeah, yeah. To me, it's. I mean, just like in a cage. I mean, you got two people that are about to try to put on a show. I mean, just because I beat you, you know, that shouldn't put you down anymore. You got up here, you gave it, you gave it a try. Um, just because I win or just because the other guy wins, I don't give them the right to sit there and mock you and embarrass you. I mean, this is to me, it's about respect. I mean, I was willing to get up there against you, or you were willing to get up there against me, whatever the case may be. So why should I not congratulate the guy on that? So I mean, like with the knockout with Vern, I took a knee. I waited for him. I mean, I learned that. Hell, everybody learns that if you play sports in school. When somebody gets hurt on the field, you usually take a knee and wait for him to get up. So I mean, that's what I did. I've carried that all the way, even to now. Just respect for somebody else.
So I also wanted to ask you, like, how good, how much do you feel? Like, what is your thought and mindset when you see somebody from Power Slap that goes viral? Like just recently, I saw the recent females. I don't know what their names are off the top of my head. It's kind of a niche, but I saw the slap and like her face just looked like it was imploding from the inside, and it just went completely viral.
But yeah, I mean, so what was the question on that? But my bad.
So like, how do you feel when you see these viral moments, like on YouTube or?
I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, because I enjoy watching the sport grow. I mean, I enjoy everything about it, from the people that take it serious or from the people that are, against the sport. I mean, I enjoy hearing both arguments on every side. So, I mean, when I see somebody get a big viral moment, I mean, to me, that's awesome because that means the sport's growing up where people are actually viewing it. Like I said, whether some of it's negative, some of it's positive, but either way, you're still taking the time to watch it, which helps us out. So, I enjoy it. I mean, honestly, I'm happy that somebody got a viral moment. I mean, if you're on the negative side of that, I mean, it does suck for you, but there's always another time where you can come back and try to overcome that, and you try to be the positive in that moment.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you because I've actually had Bill on my show before, and I wanted to ask you, like, what is it? What is a good slap that you've seen, and you're just like, you just gotta like shake your head, or you gotta look away a little bit. Like what is something that you've seen where you're just like, how are they still fighting?
Man, almost every slap from somebody like the Bill. I mean, because that dude, if you've ever stood next to him, I mean, he's like 6'3", 6'4", and he's just, I mean, he's 240, 250. He's built,
Yeah,
just amazing. And
like
I'm
I
not
saw him
trying to sound
online,
big.
and I had him on my channel, and then when I met him in Dallas, I'm just like, because I'm like
Yeah.
5 foot nothing, and he's
And then when he swings back, he's got that wingspan that whenever he swings back and, he's almost touching the ground with that hand, I'm just like, oh, crap. And then whenever, I mean, he's got bigger hands than I do. And whenever he connects with somebody after a full swing, I'm just, damn, I don't know how you're still standing. Because I remember my match with him, which I've already told, like power slapping her. I mean, after round two, I was on autopilot. I didn't remember nothing until I got back there to the doctor after the match. Um, so yeah, for anybody to still stand up to that dude, like, I mean, he's, to me, in my opinion, he's probably by far the best right now.
so I wanted to clarify something because it's always bothered me because I've read online. where they talk about concussions and brain damage and everything. What do y'all do after the fight? Like when you talk to the doctors, you talk to the nurses, do you get scanned? Like what happens when the fight is over?
When the fight's over, you get brought back there to the doctor. They don't give you your check until after you clear the doctor. It just depends on what happened in the match. So after the Bell matchup, for instance, they put me on a medical suspension because I suffered a concussion. Power slap 3, they put me against AJ because I was going to move down to light heavyweight, and that's when I won the belt. But they had me go through a CAT scan, MRI. They had me go through all that stuff just to make sure I was cleared after the Bell matchup. So I mean, they do try to take care of us pretty well. There's some matchups, where they'll ask you if you're all right. You're answering questions just fine. So like with the AJ matchup, they put me on a medical suspension after that just because it went all 5 rounds. I felt great. Didn't really have, I had a couple of scratches on me, but I felt fine. But they put me still on the same suspension that I got from going against the Bell. So they do try to watch out for our safety as far as that aspect goes. They don't want to, sit there and book you match after match after match when, you're taking, significant damage to the head. So I do appreciate that aspect.
And then I also wanted to ask you, you're actually transitioning into a coach now. Is that correct?
No, not really. I mean, they had me coach some events, and they had me coach Power Slap Road to the Title Season 1. But and I told them I don't mind coaching. I can show people and I can try to talk to people. I don't talk as well as some of your guys like Blackburn or like Brandon Bordeaux. I don't have that.
You don't have the
I
gift of the
guess
gab. You don't have the
yeah,
tongue.
I don't have that communication with somebody. I can help you and show you maybe what you're doing wrong, maybe what might help you do a little bit better. But I don't have the I don't have that talk to where I can explain and break down everything for you and everything else. So I mean, they'll call me to coach, events and stuff. But as far as like combines go, they had me go to the first couple. But after that, they brought in like Blackburn and they brought in like Bordeaux and I think those are the right choices because they are somebody that can break everything down for somebody. Whereas, myself, I can just help you, but I can't really break it all down and tell you, why this works, why this doesn't work. I can just help you on what does work.
So I actually wanted to ask you, about your family, your fatherhood. You've said the best thing you've ever done is having your children. How does fatherhood approach competition in your legacy?
It means everything because this is what I'm doing it for them. Um, they pay me well enough that I get to come home and, give my kids stuff that I wasn't getting to be able to do working a normal job. So, I mean, I get to come home and spoil them or, stuff like that. So it impacts it pretty good. And I mean, they get embarrassed when we'll go out to like Walmart or when they go to school and their teachers know who I am and they get embarrassed by that. But it impacts me pretty much because this is what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for them. Um, I was, recently going to retire after the Saudi Arabia one, and we have a couple things come up, so I just decided to continue on and finish out my contract, just so I can make sure that I got everything set up for them whenever I am done.
I mean, will we ever see you doing commentary? Will we ever see you still working with Power Slap?
When I told them I was going to retire after the Saudi Arabia one, they still said they wanted to keep me. They wanted to keep me going to them at least, whether it be coaching, the events or, doing something. So, I mean, I assume I'll probably still be involved in some way or another. I just know that, yeah, I already told them that this contract was it. I don't plan on signing another one. So I got 4 matches left, and that's what I told them I'd give them, because that'll put me 20-0 at light heavyweight between power slap and slap fight championship. So I figured that's hey, nobody else got to 20-0 in their division, so that's what I'm working towards.
So I wanted to ask you about celebrities, because TKO is now bringing in like all kinds of crazy people other than, like we just saw Jelly Roll, we just saw Paul Logan, and even in AEW, we get to see a Hoosier show up on ROH television.
Yeah.
Like, who do you see joining Power Slap? That's a celebrity.
I don't know, honestly. I mean, I think at some point when this grows up bigger, you'll see a lot of them, even going against each other, a celebrity versus celebrity. Hell, I mean, I've heard people say, have two, not Republicans, trying to think of the word, two politicians going up there. So, I mean, I've heard it. I've heard it all. I'd venture to say more MMA guys that are, like UFC guys or, stuff like that are done cage fighting might transition over to power slap, just because it was the easy transition for me. You're already used to being hit in the head, and now you ain't got to sit there and put as much damage on your body by just transitioning over. All you got to do is, just still get, hit in the head, which UFC guys do more times than we do in a night. And then including their training when they're sparring and stuff, they're still getting hit in the head. So, I mean, I think it's an easier transition for cage fighters or for wrestlers that are already used to, going through that punishment to come over to power slap.
So what was your actual next fight? When's the next time you defend your title?
October 24th. We go to Abu Dhabi for Power Slap 16.
What is the crowds like over there compared to here in the States?
The crowds to me are about the same. I try to tone it all out. I like to focus on my opponent, but they're all cheering. They're all enjoying what they're watching. It's pretty amazing. I mean, if they're speaking English when I'm over there, like in Saudi Arabia, I mean, then I can understand. But if not, I can't understand what they're saying. But I know they're still on their feet. They're cheering. They're yelling just like they do, when I'm in Vegas. So, I mean, I enjoy the crowd no matter where I'm at, because it makes me see that what we're doing, people are enjoying.
So, do you have anything else before we leave off?
No, sir. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Of course, of course. And this is Javier Beltramos, and I want to thank everybody for being on Planet Texas. We're going to have all the information for Ron, the Wolverine Batman. So if anybody wants to find his links, his descriptions, they want to see him with the championship, you go to powerslap.com. And if not, you can look him up on Facebook, Instagram. You can follow him, subscribe him, message him, tell him you like him, tell him you don't like him, tell him whatever you want. But he may slap you. So have an understanding on that part.